Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new YouTube video, and in today's video I'm going to be taking you through how to scale to 100k per month as stated here on this document using appointment setters. And I'm going to be covering 4 topics with it, and main thing I'm going to be doing is of course take you through my thought process, my philosophy, but I'm also going to be showing you examples and systems that you can actually use and how we are using it in practice ourselves. So with that being said, let's dive into it. So the first topic I'd like to kick it off with is the hiring process and my mindset on setters, okay? Now look, I'm gonna give you 2 things here. So number 1, you can get practical systems and strategies, which I'm gonna show you first where to get. So look, if you want like examples and visuals, I got a full free course here that if you go to the link in the description, it's going to be called school.com/appointment setter. You're going to get like the whole setting foundation, how to find them, how to manage them, EOD systems, literally everything. But in this video, I'm going to be talking to you to even something more important, which is basically my mindset on setters, okay? Because right now we're booking 80 to 100 calls per day, and that's consistent. And my hiring process, because I wouldn't be able to book that amount of calls if my setters weren't good. So my mindset on setters is that like they need to have experience. Okay, that's pretty much the first thing. And with that, I'm going to be taking notes as I'm taking you through it. So the hiring process and my mindset. So number 1, like they need to have experience. Unless they honestly come from our NAS program, because we literally teach them everything that we know. But they need to have experience otherwise, which basically means they need a track record of having worked with a coach before. And second, what I've seen and what's going to save you so much time is that setters perform in 4 days. And if they're way below KPI, I've rarely seen a setter get up to KPI then after that time period, right? So for us, they need to hit at least, I'm going to show you right here. So EOD setters. You can see right here, our setters are booking like, dozens and dozens of calls per day. This is literally a slow day. I think this was on a Sunday. We booked 16 calls. My setter generated 12K. And he had about, as you can see right here, 800 conversations, booked 16 calls. And Nathan is someone that literally performed really well in his first 4 days. And before Nathan, I actually trialed someone else, which in his first 4 days, he barely got up to 100 conversations on day 4. And with that, I'm just very direct, and I just basically let go of the setter if they're not up to KPI, because you're going to be paying a price either way. Like if you don't want to have that uncomfortable conversation and or not be decisive, then you're going to be paying the price for not being that, right? So replacing the person that's underperforming. However, if you are, then have that conversation, let them go, and then from there just trial a new setter, right? Because you're paying a price again, either way. So you should be able to tell in 4 days by, of course, having a specific KPI whether they're going to perform or not. That's the first and biggest thing. Now, the second one is the trial process. And this kind of like ties into what I was just covering together here with you. And I'm going to be making some notes here together as well. So the trial process and minimum KPI. So my trial process is usually 3 to 4 days. It's not 1 or 4 weeks. The reason why is because if it's 1 or 4 weeks, first of all, there's no reason for it to be so long, because in my experience, a setter performs in their first 4 days, or they don't really, and they're going to need months, maybe even years worth of training before they get up to that KPI. And if you decide to train them, there comes a lot of opportunity cost with that, right? Because they're going to make mistakes, they need to become better, they need to improve at point A, point B. It just takes a very long time. Okay, so with that being said, the minimum KPIs and appointments that should hit, in my experience. So I just quickly grabbed what our setters hit, right? So you can see these are like the KPIs. Now for the average setter, because our setters are honestly like top 0.1%, I wouldn't set this. And I don't say that from a place of ego. If you literally go to any company, you ask them for their KPIs, like there's no company really that I've ever seen hit this, right? And I've worked with a lot of people in my mastermind, my core program. There's almost no one that hits this, and they join, of course, to get up to that KPI, and that's what we help them with. So the average setter, in my opinion, should at least have 80 to 100 combos per day outbound. So basically sending messages to the people that watch your story, engage with your content, comment on a post. New inbound, now, of course, this is your marketing. So ideally this would be between 30, 50 to 100 per day. So like you getting inbound DMs on your story, on your feed posts, right? Getting comments. That's what the new inbound combos mean. Follow-ups. This is past sales calls and or mainly general past conversations you've had with people that haven't booked a call yet, right? So follow-ups, that should be the most dominant one. And then from there, ideally calls proposed. This varies per business, to be honest, because a big part of this is like, of course, the skill set of your setter in their conversation. It's also going to be your brand, and those two things dominantly, right? And then with this, it should be like a 40% calls proposed to meeting set ratio. So if you take 40% of 10 and 15, that's about 4 to 7 or 8, something like that, right? So this is what the average setter should hit. Okay, so that is the second thing that you need to know. And look, like there's a lot of nuance and details with setters that are deeper within these topics. Like, what should you say in this conversation? What should a follow-up look like? Like, how do you propose more calls? You can book more calls. Again, just go to the free course that I showed you at the beginning of this video. It covers all that. I'm just gonna keep this high level because when you have the high level right, you know exactly what to do and what to improve upon, right? So we just went through the hiring process and my mindset on setters. We also just went through the trial process. So again, that should be max if you're new to this, like 7 days. I honestly am able to make a decision due to my experience in 2 to 4 days, right? And that's because like I know what a good setter is and I know what a bad setter is because I've done it for many years myself. It's literally our entire business model. And so like that's my general recommendation, okay? And these are the minimum KPIs an appointment setter should hit. So that being said, right now I'm going to be showing you some back-end systems that we have that are very, very helpful. And I'm going to show you too, so you can go ahead and implement it. So one of the main ones, of course, is the EODs, right? So here we basically have EODs. So our setters fill this out on a Google form, and then it gets zapped into Slack right here. So we get this notification. Then it also submits to a spreadsheet where we get like the day-to-day counted up with a formula. So we have the weekly average, the bi-weekly average, the monthly average, and with that we can like oversee our monthly results, right? Without like all this complex tracking. So this is pretty much how we do it. This is one of our systems. Now the second one that we have is 45-minute calls, right? So right here you can see that we basically have an overview of the call booked. So the moment a call is booked on Calendly, it populates right here. And again, we make sure that they make at least 2K per month, or they have a budget of at least 1K. Right, so if this would like say 0, we'd still keep this person. If this would be unemployed, no income, but they have 8K, then we'd keep this person because the budget is above 1K, right? Now, if they're unqualified, we basically have a cancel now button, right? For efficiency reasons, because we have quite some sales reps and we want to make sure their calendar is looking good. So you can see that this person right here, let's see, this is the qualified lead. So this is what the cancel interface would look like. So the setters can just go ahead and cancel it. However, if it's already canceled, it would basically look something like this, right? So you can see our setters are on it. So that's the second system that we have. And then here we have like the canceled calls, right? And then another really helpful system we have is call updates. So here we can basically see when our sales reps join a call and if a prospect joined to the call too, which has been a game changer for us, right? If I go to any other ones here, I'd say obviously we have the team setters communication channel, and those are the main ones that we use. Okay, so that being said, that's a little bit of like what the backend looks like. Honestly, the main ones you need is just EOD, one where your calls populate. That's pretty much it. Okay, now I'm also going to be showing you lastly the simple scaling formula to book 20 sales calls per day. So let me open up Instagram and show you right now. Okay, so look, you need to have good marketing. It's two things, marketing and good setters. So what makes a good setter is their KPIs and how they conduct the conversations and having a script they can follow. Those three things, right? But mainly the KPIs, skill set, then script. Those three core things you need to have in place if you want to have a successful setting system and a team. Now, what's important from my end, and also what would really heavily impact the setter's results, is the marketing. So I do 3 posts a day, and a lot of them have a call to action, right? So our setters can book calls. If my marketing would not exist, instead of booking 80 to 100 calls per day, we'd probably book maybe 15 to 25 at the high end, which may sound like a lot, but we've got 5 sales reps, so it's not a lot, right? Because we cannot even book out 3 of our reps total, right? Or 3 to 4. So marketing, you must have that in place. So what I do every single day, if you're a coach, try this story. I literally post this story every single day. Say, I'm looking for 5 more people. We guarantee this thing. Message me this word and have that as your only story. Remove all the other stories. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So 3 posts a day, good story, making sure you're driving traffic to the DMs. And then with that, having your setters work. Doing that consistently and focusing on this one thing is what's allowing us to book out our team at an all time, right? So guys, with that being said, this is how you can scale to 100K per month with appointment setters. It's not more complex than that. Don't have like an overly complex, screening process, interview process, and then you need to have some basic onboarding material, but please just focus on the basics and the things that move the needle, nothing less, nothing more, and then only up until like a point you're at a result, then you can like enhance, make it more fancy and all that stuff. But fundamentally, it's good people, good marketing, that's it. Don't make it harder than it has to be. Okay, so that being said, hope this video was valuable to you, and I'll be seeing you in the next one.